So I got this Tamaya Sand Viper. I think it's a Tamaya Sand Viper. Do not know for sure. Found it at a garage sale. I put a 3652 kV brushless motor in it, 4-pole, and it is great. But then I took it off a jump and it cracked, and so I had that there just to take some strain off. But I need to make a chassis fix for that because that kind of sucks. So I measured out this piece of aluminum, have this wrap around that for a little more support, have it then brace the whole chassis, and then wrap the nose a little bit so it has like a nice bumper. So that's the plan. I'm gonna cut this and make it the right size for the buggy. Okay, here we go. So I cut the right piece and the right size for the brace, and so I measured it, so I figured out how much wrap I want around the motor and on the front. So now I just gotta get my bends marked and where I want it to bend. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a marker. There we go. Okay, so I marked my bends. So I scored it with the grinder, and it might help me get those bends a little easier. All right, let's try it. Okay, yeah, that's the trick right there, guys. You gotta score it, and it helps get your bend way better. So I'll finish bending this, and I'll show you the final. Let's dry fit it. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm happy. Yep, I don't think it's necessary to do another bend. So that should help it kind of be like a wheelie bar type thing. It braces the whole thing, and now I gotta do my front bends to the level there and then there. But yeah, it's looking good. It should be also a skid plate for just rocks and stuff. Okay, let's do the other bends. Okay, so I sanded, you can kind of see there, to give the aluminum a little more grip for the epoxy. I also sanded on here to give those microfiber grips, and so it adheres better. Rounded out that nose and buff these out just to make them look a little better. Okay, so I got the epoxy that I'm gonna use to epoxy this together, and so I just got this 5-minute epoxy clear. It doesn't really matter if it's clear or not. Okay, so I have a fire extinguisher sitting on there to compress it on there, and then I also put some gloves under the motor so there's no strain on the crack. It looks like it's sealed pretty good. There's no gaps. I am going to go through and epoxy probably just a bead right there for extra support. But it's looking pretty solid, and I'm happy with it so far. Alright, so I glued it on. I globbed some on right there because that's going to be a high hit point, and then I'm going to sand it off later and make it all clean, but that's just for some extra support. And also I did that on the front. I'm going to sand that off and make it look all nice, but I just did that for extra support. And also when you bend aluminum, it weakens it, so that's a little structure support too. And so when it's sitting on the ground, I just need to remount this ESC, but it doesn't take away much clearance. And then when it wheelies, because I'm running 3S, it has a nice skid plate there. And then when I have any head-on collisions, I got this pretty gnarly bumper that should take on a lot of the impact. So yeah, that is fun. And now let's take it on a little rip. Let's do it.